Have you ever found yourself feeling alone and wondering how to keep your spirit up in your 70s or 80s? It's not something people often talk about, but it's a quiet question many older adults carry with them. As life unfolds, things naturally shift, family members move, close friends pass on, and the daily connections we once took for granted start to fade. Eventually, you may wake up surrounded by calm and stillness, but not always by companionship. Here's something important. Being by yourself doesn't have to mean being unhappy. In fact, many people discover deep peace, surprising strength, and even a sense of joy in their own company. In this video, we'll walk through 5 heartfelt strategies that can truly uplift your day-to-day life, especially if you're navigating later years without constant social contact. These aren't quick-fix tips. They're meaningful approaches that bring understanding, comfort, and a renewed sense of purpose. And if you stay with me through the end, you might just find a new perspective on solitude that changes how you experience it from now on. Guide number 1. Creating a daily rhythm that grounds you. One of the most uplifting things you can do when living alone is to create a daily routine that feels meaningful. In our younger years, the world sets the pace for us: careers, kids, responsibilities. But later in life, especially when you're on your own, the calendar might look empty. That open space can feel freeing, or it can quietly drain your energy if left unshaped. A gentle routine gives your day rhythm, and rhythm brings peace. It doesn't mean you need to stay busy all the time. It simply means giving your day a shape, a flow. Maybe it's starting your morning with tea near a window, stretching before lunch, or playing your favorite music as the sun sets. These small moments give your mind a sense of direction and your heart something steady to return to. Guide number 2. Becoming your own emotional anchor. As we age, one of the most powerful things we can learn is how to be emotionally steady even in quiet moments. Emotional self-reliance isn't about pretending we don't need people, it's about learning how to support ourselves from within. There will be moments when you wish someone were there to share a laugh or a memory. And while nothing replaces meaningful connection, it's also true that you can be your own source of comfort. Start by tuning into the way you talk to yourself. Is your inner voice kind? Try saying, "I did my best today," or "It's okay to feel how I feel." Over time, speaking to yourself with gentleness can bring deep emotional strength. Carol, who's 81, keeps a notebook she calls her evening check-in. Sometimes she writes a paragraph. Other nights, just a line like, "Dinner felt lonely, but I lit a candle and enjoyed it anyway." This small act helps her feel noticed even by herself. And sometimes, that's exactly what the heart needs. Guide number 3. Savoring the small sensory joys of life. Happiness in later life often isn't found in big events, it's tucked into the simple sensory pleasures we often overlook. The warmth of sunlight on your hands. The scent of soup simmering. A song from your youth playing softly nearby. When you live alone, you have the chance to slow down and really notice those details. The mug in your hand, the texture of your blanket, the taste of fresh fruit, these are more than objects. They're quiet companions. Ralph, at 84, eats an orange every afternoon by the window. He says it brings back memories of summers as a boy. That one orange connects him to the past and the present, and it gives his day a bright, happy moment. Engaging your senses helps ground you in the now. You're not stuck in the past or worrying about the future, you're simply here. And often, that's where the deepest peace is found. Guide number 4. Finding subtle ways to feel connected. Even without close friends or daily visitors, you can still feel part of the world. Connection doesn't always mean long conversations, sometimes it's just small, quiet moments that remind you you're not alone. Smile at someone as you walk by. Say hello to the cashier. Send a letter or leave a kind note in a borrowed library book. These little actions remind you that you still belong to a larger human story. Dennis, 79, writes simple messages in books at his local library. "This chapter made me laugh, I hope it does for you too." He'll never know who reads them, but doing it makes him feel part of something bigger, and that feeling matters. Guide number 5. Embracing purpose without pressure. Purpose doesn't always mean a job or a big mission. In your later years, purpose can be simple: caring for a plant, knitting a blanket, feeding birds, or just waking up each morning with the intention to be gentle with yourself. Think about something small you can look forward to, not because you have to, but because it feels good to your spirit. Purpose is what gets you out of bed with a quiet sense of, I'm still part of something. Marjorie, age 82, keeps a bowl of seeds near her window and feeds the neighborhood birds every morning. She calls them her little visitors. They rely on her, and in return, she finds joy and routine. That small act became her purpose, not because the world demanded it, but because her heart responded to it. Your purpose doesn't need to impress anyone. It only needs to matter to you. Guide number 6. Letting go of past regrets. As we grow older, memories both sweet and painful tend to visit us more often. And sometimes, regret can feel like an uninvited guest that lingers too long. But here's something to remember: you are not the mistakes you made. You are the lessons you learned, the strength you built, and the love you still have to give. If there's something you wish you had done differently, acknowledge it, then gently remind yourself, I was doing the best I could, with what I knew at the time. Peter, now 86, once wrote a letter to his younger self. He didn't mail it anywhere, just folded it and tucked it into his drawer. In that letter, he forgave himself for being too busy, for missing chances, for being human. He says he's been lighter ever since. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means freeing yourself to live more fully now without being anchored to a past that can't be changed. Guide number 7. Keeping the mind gently active. A quiet home doesn't have to mean a quiet mind. Keeping your brain engaged in soft, joyful ways helps you feel awake, alive, and mentally steady. This doesn't mean complicated puzzles or intense learning, unless that's what you enjoy. It could be as simple as reading something new each day, listening to podcasts, trying a new recipe, or watching documentaries that spark curiosity. Eleanor, 79, listens to a different genre of music every week. One week it's classical, the next it's blues, the next it's music from around the world. She says it keeps her world open, like taking small trips with her ears and heart. Curiosity doesn't have an expiration date. Let your mind wander. Let it learn. Let it play. Guide number 8. Surrounding yourself with beauty. Your space matters more than you think. Even small touches of beauty can make a room feel like a sanctuary, a place where your spirit can breathe and feel safe. You don't need to redecorate or spend money. It could be placing a flower from outside in a jar, rearranging items to bring more light in, or displaying something that brings you joy like a photo, a quilt, or a painting. Robert, age 87, hangs handwritten poems on his refrigerator, not by famous poets, but by himself. He calls them notes to my soul. They aren't perfect, but they make his kitchen feel alive with his own voice. Beauty isn't about impressing others. It's about creating a space that reflects who you are and who you still want to become. Guide number 9. Reconnecting with spiritual or reflective practices. For many, solitude brings with it a chance to reconnect with deeper parts of themselves, spiritual, philosophical, or simply reflective. Whatever your beliefs may be, quiet time is a chance to explore what gives your life meaning. It could be prayer, meditation, reading spiritual texts, sitting outside in silence, or just looking up at the sky and asking, what still calls to me? Lucille, 83, lights a candle every evening at sunset. She says a small prayer, even if it's just, thank you for this day. She says the flame reminds her that life, however simple, still glows with mystery and purpose. If you've been distant from your beliefs or practices, now might be the time to return to them, not out of obligation, but because they offer peace. Guide number 10. Opening yourself to unexpected joy. Even in solitude, joy can arrive often when you're not expecting it. It might be laughter during a show, the surprise of a bird outside your window, or a memory that brings tears and a smile all at once. The key is to stay open. Open to moments that warm your heart. Open to the idea that life still has gifts for you, even now. Joy doesn't have to be loud. Sometimes, it's as quiet as your own breath in a sunlit room. So if you're walking through your later years mostly in solitude, remember this. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. You're still growing, still becoming, still worthy of love and light. These quiet years can hold some of the richest wisdom and deepest peace if you let them. If you found comfort or clarity in these words, comment 2 below so I know you stayed with me to the end. And if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe for more heartfelt reflections and uplifting wisdom. Because you are never truly alone here. We're walking this path together.